Hey there, and welcome to the Marketing SOS Show. My name is Eric Yee, and this week we're talking to Cindy, who has an issue wondering what exactly marketing is and where should it kind of fall in an organization. And so that's kind of the whole purpose of this show, is I take questions from you, the audience, and I give you the best possible advice I can from my years of working in the marketing space. So whether you're a student, an experienced marketer that needs a sounding board, or a small business that can't afford a marketing team, allow me to be your marketing coach and help you in whichever way I can. And let's get to Cindy's question right after this music. So, Cindy writes, "Hey Eric, I have what may be a basic question, but it is one that I need some help on. Can you define marketing for me, or at least what you think it should cover? At my company, the lines of responsibility for marketing are not quite clear. We're trying to figure out what other areas of the business it should influence. There is a debate in my office over how much input we should have on the projects other departments work on. There is a specific department that we believe is unintentionally harming our marketing efforts. It is our call center team. They perform based on certain metrics that rubs customers the wrong way. I feel that the marketing team has built a certain level of expectation and service in the customer's mind, but when they interact with our call center team, it is a completely different experience." So yeah, what do you think marketing is, and what areas should it cover? Should we have any say in the affairs of our call center team? Thanks, Eric. Well, this is a really good question, and I think the mileage will definitely vary by company to company. But in my mind, marketing covers really anything outward facing to customers. And the call center can be a gray area in terms of how it kind of interacts and interfaces with customers, right? Because they're now kind of interacting with an internal process or internal policies that might not be the most customer friendly. And I do think that marketing should have an influence in the call center, at least in how it's run or how it's measured, I suppose. So your first question is, what is marketing? What do I think marketing is? Well, realistically, it's kind of, like I said, anything that interacts with the customer. So depending on how the organization is set up, there may just be a marketing department. You could have product marketing. You could have brand managers that kind of manage how the brand is perceived in different areas. And let's stick on that one for a little bit, the brand manager, because a lot of companies will have different brands under one company, but that brand manager is really kind of responsible for customers' interaction, awareness, and perception of the brand, and then executing marketing around it. So to answer your question, anytime a customer sees your company, interacts with the company, or hears about the company, it should be the result of marketing. All physical collateral, all scripting, I really feel like a lot of things should be under the purview of marketing, and I know not everyone will agree with me on that. So yes, marketing should have a say in the call center. Usually companies put the call center under like more of an operational division, or the sales division, depending on how the organization is set up, which is fine as long as they're doing things right. Now, normally the call center under sales organization is probably a little more robustly run with some of the metrics that they're hitting and the way they're communicating with customers. But if it's a call center, like a general call center that's kind of like taking customer complaints, customer issues, like in e-commerce, you get things like missing parcels, late packages, damaged packages, incorrect pricing on the website, things like that would go to the call center. It's not necessarily a salesy call center, but from the way you've kind of worded your question, this is what I'm assuming that you kind of have, is more of a transactional kind of call center. So the senior teams at your organization, they need to talk and agree what is important and to get all of the departments aligned and working towards the same goals. Now, when you say that the call center is using metrics that might not be as customer friendly, I know exactly what probably happened. You probably got an experienced call center manager from another organization that came in, set things up, and is running it, but they may not be aligned with marketing. They're probably looking at things like the efficiency of the department, looking at how long you're spending on different calls, what your upsells are, a lot of different metrics like that may not necessarily be reflective of what you want to cultivate in the marketing team or the kind of brand voice that you want to have. So I think, like I said, the senior teams need to get together and figure out what is important to the company, ultimately. So often the marketing team is the closest to the customer, and they should usually act as the voice of the customer internally. The marketing team should have a lot of influence, not necessarily the final decision or the say, but they should be informed of new policy changes or proposed policy changes and have influence on different aspects of the organization, especially if there isn't like a brand team in place. If the call center isn't reflecting the values and missions of the company, the perception you want from customers and the voice of the brand is definitely going to be an issue at that point. You are completely accurate in the fact that you build up the perception of one thing and then the company fails to deliver it. I'm sure everyone listening can think of specific examples when that was the case, and they've had that. We've all had it. Like in my ideal setup, many different departments would report to the head of the marketing team. Essentially, like one big marketing and customer experience team is, I think, what might be needed in your organization. So, Cindy, thank you so much for writing in this week. It's a really interesting question that I think a lot of companies come to struggle with, is all the push and pull of different departments, how different departments and people are measured. Ultimately, I think what ends up happening is a lot of people end up looking at what their own metrics are for their success internally and build processes and policies around those and don't look at the customer. And that really starts at the top. So if you get the top, you need to get the top on board and figure out what metrics the organization really needs to track. Cindy, thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you for sticking with me and listening to this episode. I appreciate your time. I know there's so much more out there you could be listening to, so thank you so much. And please, if you have a question for me, I am more than happy to answer it. So email me at eric@marketingsos.ca or just go to marketingsos.ca and fill out the form on that page. And who knows, your question could be featured on the next episode of the Marketing SOS Show. And with that, thank you so much. Have a great week, great day, great weekend. Whatever time it is you're listening to this, have a good one. See you next time.